step closer to having this thing out. Got the front end taken apart. Empty cherry picker. Empty engine bay. Got the tubs cut. Got the core support sanded and smooth. Engine bays sanded. Pretty much ready for paint. Got everything masked off for the most part. All right, time to pull this thing into the shop. Tear it apart. This thing, it's so dirty. It's been sitting under these trees, man. I just hooked up the battery. Dude, there's spider webs everywhere. I don't know if you can see on camera, dude. There's so many spider webs. Got me my trusty dusty IAC valve. This is gonna be my e-brake since my e-brake doesn't stay up. Let me check if it has oil first. I mean, it's kind of stupid, but it's already blown up. She's still there. Wipe her off. She's a little low, but she's got oil. I don't know if you can see that. There you go. All right. That means we can start it. There is spider webs everywhere. Holy smokes. Get these out of here, bro. Get these out of here. Get these out of here. Let's try to start this thing. Oh, fucking purring, dude. Oh my god. You wouldn't even believe this thing's blown up. Oh my god. We're not even smoking. Sounds a little ticky. That's okay. Look at that thing. I miss this car. Oh yeah. We're smoking. Let's hear this thing. Oh yeah. She's cold. Alright, let's pull this thing in the shop for it. Oh my Jesus. Alright, let's pull this thing in the shop. This thing is smoking like a John. It's pretty damn smoky. Let's put her on the lift. Get her lifted. All right, we are on the lift. Gonna pull it and then go from there. So first step is drain the coolant system, so we can take this front end off because it makes everything a little easier. All right, so I kind of want to give some insight on why I'm even pulling the engine to begin with. So if you couldn't tell from the previous clips, it is smoking pretty bad out of the exhaust. And I took it to this drift event basically, and it was like a 97, 95 degree day. It was really hot. I think the oil got pretty thin. I could hear it ticking really bad because I was running 530. I've since switched to 540 because of this, but it was a little too late. I think the piston rings got hurt. So I did a leak down test, and basically three or four out of the 6 cylinders had low compression. So yeah, I think that had to do with the heat. The oil got really thin, and also I have a 391 in the car, so the gear ratio is pretty short for this track. So it was seeing a lot of limiter, and that was probably not super healthy. But yeah, I basically wanted to just give some insight on why I'm pulling the engine. I realized I didn't really talk about that at all in the video. But yeah, hope you guys enjoy. Getting going on the pulling of the engine. I've got the radiator out, the cooling system. disconnected the power steering. Took the intake boot off just to get some more room. I disconnected the fuel lines. Doing all the electrical. I got this electrical disconnected. I got the drive line and the exhaust off. 3-inch all the way back. Got a little list right here. So fuel line's done. I gotta do the motor mounts, electrical, which I'm doing right now, trans mounts, and the shifter. And that's like most of what needs to get done. So I guess I'll update you guys when I get that figured out. Got the front end taken apart. Got the trans mounts, shifters out, wobbling around in there. I got the motor mounts undone. I think it's ready to be pulled. I just gotta pull it, put the cherry picker on it. Empty cherry picker. Empty engine bay. Got the engine pulled. Here she is. Complete assembly. We got M52, E28, GF trans, eBay headers, M50 manifold. So we're gonna be swapping this car with a very nice motor, very cool motor. Boom. We're outside. So today I pushed the car outside. Off camera I kind of cleaned up some of the dirty heat shield and just random stuff. There's still a lot of debris. But I'm pushing it outside right now so I can use some degreaser and kind of pressure wash the bay, clean it up a bit. Plan is to cut these tubs out right here and right here. You see the X's on there, kind of. But yeah, I'm gonna cut like along the seam sealer and along this kind of line right here, and then I'm not sure exactly what to do about up here. I don't know. I can't really find any videos on what other people do, because I see some people get rid of these bumper brackets, which the side of the bumper slides into to keep it tucked up against the core support and the fender and all that. I'm sure there's like other ways to kind of mount it, but yeah, we're outside. Got a roof wing that I'm gonna paint and mount. I kind of want to cut it along here so it kind of comes down a little bit, if that makes sense, so it kind of matches the trunk line. Yeah, I'm gonna pressure wash this bay and get back to you guys. All right, got her real good pressure washing, way cleaner. Definitely not clean, but I'm not trying to spend 2 hours sitting here pressure washing every nook and cranny of this thing. I got as much as I could. I got both sides of the steering rack. I got, I used my jack over here. Jacked up both sides, got under on the bottom of the subframe. Pretty clean compared to what it was. See, the motor was hitting right there, grinding somehow. Right there and right here, I believe, on the power steering hard line. But yeah, got that done. Spread the outside real quick because it was covered in pine needles, so looks much better. And then this is what we've been waiting for. This is my 1.8T that I picked up. Still looks pretty rough. I'm in the process of taking it apart, getting the pressure plate and clutch components off so I can put it on the engine stand, and start actually stripping it. It is an AUG engine code, AUG. Came off of a Passat, 2001 Volkswagen Passat. Has that little bitty KO3 turbo. But yeah, that's where I'm at right now. Working on selling this piece of, never mind, this engine is pretty fun, but bad luck with these engines, unfortunately. I would like to show you guys. I was trying to take the transmission off because I'm keeping the ZF to run with the 1.8T. And I started working on it. What the? Snapped a E12 socket, which is used for these bolts holding the transmission to the engine. So I couldn't get it off. All right. So I've been working on a couple things. I'm working on getting these tubs cut. And then I'm working on getting this section cut out. I'm gonna have to take the fender off. I already started working on that. I think there's some mounts under there where the side skirt sits, and then in the door jamb. So I gotta work on that. I'm gonna end up cutting this right here in half, probably right there for the bumper mount. And then that'll just mount to the fender, so give it some sort of mounting spot. It won't be very rigid, but better than nothing, I guess. And then I kind of cut flat along this groove because you can see OEM, it kind of ramps up. So I cut flat. Other progress, got the transmission off. I got a new set of Torx bits because this happened to my last one. So I got that off. Working on selling this hunk of junk. Got my trans mounts on there and everything. Need a new guibo as well. I just realized this one's pretty brittle and has a bunch of crack marks. It's split right there. So definitely need a new guibo. So I'll order one of those. Other news, got the 1.8T up on the hoist again. Got the clutch and pressure plate off. I'm in the works with a person in Europe somewhere. I don't know exactly where he is, but I'm working on getting a clutch kit made for this thing and getting it shipped over here soon. That will be able to mate clutch components to the ZF. He's also making an adapter plate for it. Yeah, so I'm gonna try to get this engine on the engine hoist over here, and work on stripping it even more down to the bare block, just so I can clean everything, get everything sorted, see what I can and cannot use, because I'm gonna have to order a lot of parts, and I want to know what I have to order, so I can just order it all at once. All right, here's where I'm at with the car. Got the tubs cut. Got them all smooth. Relocated the brake line mounts. Got the mounts taken off and the low spots bondoed after. Everything's looking smooth. Undid those so I can get the top where the bolts go. I'm mounted on the core support, and I'm working on getting this sanded and shaved. So I'm gonna be getting rid of a bunch of these holes. Can't really see it, but some of them are circled. But here we are. Got fenders off, wheels off. The bay is pretty much ready. Just got to sand down the Bondo, get everything looking smooth. Do one once over, clean everything back here that hasn't been cleaned already. Then for the motor, I've got it pretty stripped. I took it out a couple of days ago and power washed it when it wasn't raining. Taped everything off so no water got anywhere. Everything gets here in a couple days to basically do all the maintenance and rebuild it and upgrade it. So I've got all the timing stuff. I've got head gasket, head studs, integrated engineering rods, and male rod bearings. So I'm going to be taking everything apart, everything. Got all the old stuff over there. Yeah, going to be working on getting this thing ready to go in here. Oh, it's a mess, but we're chugging along. Right now I'm working on welding and grinding these holes, basically shaving them. So got those couple, finished welding these, and then I'm gonna work on grinding them. And then I'm gonna put Bondo over them for a couple hours, and then we're gonna come back tonight. After I'm gonna sand everything as well and clean. But hopefully we should be able to do seam sealer and then paint tonight, if not tomorrow. Just came in the mail, seam sealer, 3M self-leveling. I've got seam sealer gun, over here with the old seam sealer. So grab some new ones. And then also there's this Rust-Oleum. We got some paint. Let's see if I can open this up. All right, so for paint, we're brushing the paint on. So this isn't very like traditional, I guess you could say. Usually when people paint cars or engine bays, they will be like spraying them with primer, then the base coat, and then clear coat. Whereas this one is like kind of like an all-in-one. It's really cheap. It's like $30 for both these cans, and there should be plenty. I'm probably going to end up doing my subframes as well when I reinforce those. And it's just gloss black. I'm not doing anything special. It's going to be a drift car, so I mean it is a drift car, so I'm not too like worried about it being fancy and have a bunch of flake in it and all that shit. So it's going to be simple. It'll be tough paint, so the Rust-Oleum, it's like self-leveling, so I don't have to get it like super perfect on all the low spots. It'll kind of fill it and level itself. And then it's also like resilient, so if like I drop some tools or I drop a ratchet, it's not going to chip the paint. It might dent, but it's not going to chip the paint, so that'll be really nice for working on the car. And that's also why I'm painting the engine or the engine bay before I put the engine in. I was going to leave it until after I get like the engine mounts done and everything, so I don't have to worry about like bumping it and chipping the paint, but I'm not really worried about that anymore because of the Rust-Oleum paint. It should be pretty easy. I've got like paintbrush for it, nice paintbrush. I ordered some, but it's not gonna get here till tomorrow, so if we end up painting it tomorrow, then I'll do that. But all right, we're back, fully shaved the core support of all the useless holes. There's some spot welds, but those aren't, I'm not too worried about those. I think the self-leveling paint will help hide those, I guess. Bay is pretty much sanded from all the Bondo. Everything is all smooth. All the low spots were filled, and for the most part, they turned out pretty good. I'm not too worried about it being perfect because, like I said, the paint is self-leveling. So I think that's going to do a lot to smooth everything out that isn't already smoothed out. I kind of blew it out with the air compressor. Everything else is pretty much stuck, so I'm going to go through with, I got some acetone and some shop towels. I'm going to go through and basically clean everything from all the contaminants. And then we can lay seam sealer. And then when that cures, so I think it takes like 40-ish, 5 minutes. After that cures, then we should be able to paint tonight, if not tomorrow. So we got seam sealer laid in the little spot that we needed it laid on both sides. Bondoed the core support. Looking good. Finished up sanding the bay. Yeah. Next is paint after this cures for a little bit, and then we can sand this. All right. Got the core support sanded and smooth. Engine bays sanded. It is 2 a.m., so we will be painting it tomorrow. All right, here we are. Got everything masked off for the most part. I'm gonna take these tack cloths that I got from Home Depot, and we're gonna clean everything. I got some acetone as well to clean up any grease areas. Everything should be clean. I mean, maybe next season I'll take all this shit out, but for now I just want to get it painted so we can start getting this ready. All right, got the little extra spots done. Here's our paint, the gloss black Rust-Oleum, self-leveling. Hopefully gonna set up a time lapse so I could have video of it basically. Yeah, let's do it. All right. Engine bay is painted. I recorded a video, like time lapse, and it got all the way to the end, and then my phone died. Lost the footage, so that's a bummer. But it's painted. I discovered some flaws in my masking. Forgot to mask off the strut tower holes. Oh, fuck. There is some paint on the ABS pump and wiring. Nobody's gonna really be looking at all that junk anyways. All right, car's on the ground. Got the fenders and wheels and put on, as well as the trim and all of the masking taken out when I painted the engine bay. I trimmed all of the excess paint that was sticking off of like the core support and all the edges. Doesn't look too bad now that it's on the ground. You can still see some runs, especially in the strut towers. I'm not super worried about it. This isn't gonna be a like show car or nothing. I just wanted it looking better than it did, which it does, so I'm not too worried about it. So that's gonna end today's video. It might have been a little all over the place because I kind of was half-assed filming it. I wasn't fully committed to making this like a video. I was just kind of recording here and there just in case I did want to, which I did, as you can see. I'll try to be a little better in the coming up videos because I'm recording the engine build process, which we have it all together, but I'm not going to show you right now because I'm going to save it for next video. But in today's video, we got the bay painted, shaved, tubs cut, everything. I did show a little bit about the engine build process, but yeah, that's going to be it for today's video. I don't want to make it too long, so I'm going to separate it into multiple videos. In the next video, we're going to be building the engine, so we're going to be building the 1.8T that's going to fit in here. Yeah, see you guys next video.